they see me, I'm him, I'm a gym in the soil, it's by the time I've been after mine. I'm one with the culture, they more like a gimmick. I'm pushing the needle, I'm leaving the key in, it's running no meter. I want me a foreign, I need them to see me. Yeah, I know it's my season, my family the reason I be who I'm being. Solid. Lately I pushing the needle forward to the people that knew me and traded sides. I'm up now, don't hit me to make it right. I'm at it dole, I've been taking mines. Niggas scared of the heights that I'm reaching for. Don't even know what you're reaching towards. Don't even know what you're reaching for. I really went from where the rats on me to the rats on me.
It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you know it. I know it. It does not matter who the host is. What matters is who the listeners are. That is the important portion. Anyways, today is Thursday, July the 14th of 2022, day 195th of the year, and we are starting to go down. Only 170 days remaining before the end of the tutu. So there you go. Anyways, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM and hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place that we do stuff at.
Radio in USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, so there you go. That's what's going on as we are hanging. We got a lot of stuff to cover today, a lot of stuff to discuss, a lot of stuff to go over with, so we'll do that. If you want to be involved with the show, it's a pretty simple process. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Now, here's the fun part. The way that it actually works is if you speak on the social media platforms, I probably will not see it. And the easier way to do it is going in through the messaging portion. Yes, the messaging portion, opposed to trying to go through the whole aspect of doing anything, trying to video chat. I'll just tell you, like, if you try to do the phone call, I'm in the middle of something, I'm probably not going to answer it. But if you do the messaging portion, you're probably going to have a higher possibility of me getting involved with it. Sorry, just kind of the reality of how it actually works out. I have to look at it, what the clock's telling me to do. That's kind of the way that it goes. Anyways, with that being said, let's move and groove and get into some things right away. And let's start talking about what was trending. And talking about all that kind of fun stuff. So Munsters and Rob Zombie landed on Twitter's top 10 trends on Wednesday after the trailer of the Zombies' new show, The Munsters, dropped. I would call it a show. It's really more of a movie. I wouldn't call it a show, but there you go. So we can check that out here in a little bit. Hashtag inflation was trending yesterday amid reports that will continue to rapidly grow. Let's see. In honor of National French Fry Day, Twitter users argued over their favorite fast food fries. Top contenders was McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, Whataburger, and Five Guys. I don't know. I haven't had a McDonald's fries, and I couldn't even tell you how many years it's been. So I couldn't tell you if it's good, bad, or indifferent. I've had Wednesday's fries probably 5-6 months ago, something like that. So, and Burger King, the Burger King that's next to me, I went one time, and they no longer had fries in stock during that time. They were like, you're going to have to come back. I was like, you're going to have to come back for fries? Not happening. And then on his 80th birthday Wednesday, social media users sends birthday wishes to the legendary actor, Harrison Ford. Yes, yesterday was Harrison Ford's birthday. Yeah, Han Solo. Just in case if you're not sure on why the love and respect and everything else that the man does. So there you go. What else? So let's talk about it. If you're not familiar with what we do here, it's kind of a simple process. We talk about safety in the news and safety. We bring in some professional broadcasters that will tell you what the hell's going on inside of the world. I come back in and we'll talk about my versionality of what I see like or indifferent, and we go from there. And that pretty much sums it up. You get to interact with the show if you so kindly choose to do so, and then we kind of go from there. Simple, almost like a pimple. What? Yeah, I did say that. So there you go. So I think with that being said, let's go ahead and bring in the news people, the provocateurs. Let's bring in the people that know what the hell they're talking about. At least we make some assumptions that they know what they're talking about, and let's go from there. So let's go ahead and do the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. President Biden says force is a last resort to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. He made the comments to an Israeli news station on Tuesday in a report that aired yesterday. The president is visiting the Middle East this week, where he's hoping to seal a global agreement to limit Iran's nuclear program. A man who allegedly raped a 10-year-old Ohio girl who traveled to Indiana for an abortion is under arrest. Trey Thomas reports.
Gerson Fuentes has been charged with rape, and authorities said in court Wednesday he's admitted guilt.
And that is the individual who confessed to having sexual intercourse with a 10-year-old at least twice.
The story of the girl traveling to Indiana for an abortion went viral after President Biden brought it up in a speech last week while discussing the Supreme Court's overturning Roe v. Wade. I'm Trey Thomas.
The Indiana doctor who helped the 10-year-old will be investigated. Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita said his office is gathering evidence, and as he put it in a Fox News interview Wednesday night, we're going to fight this to the end, including looking at her license if she failed to report. Dr. Caitlin Bernard has told a number of media outlets she provided care for the girl after a child abuse doctor in Ohio contacted her. Reports say the witness in the January 6 investigation former President Trump allegedly tried to contact was a member of his White House support staff. CNN and NBC reported Tuesday that Trump made the call after the committee heard public testimony from Cassidy Hutchinson. CNN reported the witness was in a position to corroborate part of Hutchinson's testimony. A $100,000 reward is being offered by 7-Eleven for information on this week's killings at 6 Southern California stores. A man is suspected of killing 2 people and injuring 3 others during robberies. Police believe the same masked gunman held up at least 4 7-Eleven stores in Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties on July 7th. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Sri Lanka's Prime Minister's ordered security forces to do whatever is necessary to restore order. Turkey says a deal's been reached aiming to resume Ukrainian grain exports. One of the 6 remaining candidates in the Conservative leadership contest will be eliminated later in the second ballot of MPs, and the father of a former choir boy is attempting to sue the Catholic Church and Cardinal George Pell.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Former Trump advisor Steve Bannon is making another attempt at delaying his criminal contempt of Congress trial. Brian Shook reports.
It's set to start in a Washington, D.C. federal courtroom Monday. Bannon's lawyers cited numerous references to their client during this week's hearing of the January 6th House Committee. They also said they just learned that CNN will air a 1-hour documentary on Bannon Sunday night. Bannon's team argued there's a very serious risk of juror prejudice going into the trial. Bannon was cited for contempt of Congress after he ignored a subpoena from the January 6th committee. He has since agreed to cooperate with the panel.
Amazon admits it has provided Ring camera footage to police without permission from the owners or a warrant 11 times this year. Mark Mayfield with the story.
In a letter to Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey, Amazon's vice president of public policy said the company complied with law enforcement requests after determining risk in good faith. The Democratic lawmaker wrote to Ring last month asking for it to comment on its relationship with police. Amazon disclosed that its Ring video cameras allowed more than 2,000 police departments to use its Neighbors app to request videos and send alerts.
Comic-Con is returning to San Diego next week, including a full summer convention downtown for the first time in 3 years. Here's Jack Cronin.
You still have to wear a mask this year and show either proof of vaccination or a negative test within 72 hours, but Comic-Con is back next week. The summer convention was canceled in both 2020 and 2021 with a smaller event over Thanksgiving last year before the full return here in July for the first time since 2019. There'll be stars like Keanu Reeves and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. All starts the preview night Wednesday of next week. Then on Thursday, William Shatner will be on hand discussing his recent trip to space and real life and a new documentary on his career. Friday, fans get a look at the new Lord of the Rings series on Amazon. Saturday, HBO showing off its prequel to Game of Thrones.
I'm Michael Kastner.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
So, do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now? That live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
The WorkWise Summit is an interactive 2-day gathering that will bring like-hearted leaders together like never before as we discuss ways to better align HR, safety, and operations around one common goal: creating the future of work together. Day 1 will focus on self-performance with talks with leading experts on how to live and lead at our best. Day 2 will focus on organizational performance with discussions on what we can do together to break down silos and foster action. The Work Summit will take place at Coker Tire Museum in Chattanooga, Tennessee on Thursday, September the 22nd and Friday, September the 23rd. For more information, go to worksbees.com/Y Summits. That's WORKZBE.com Y Summit. This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Listen to our host
of the Rated R Safety Show
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Okay, there you go. 15 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Thursday. Doing all the fun stuff that we get to do around here, because that's what we get to do. So let's start talking about some more things. Inflation was up to at least 9.1% in June, year over year, making it the second month in a row with the fastest growth of inflation since 1981. Amid rising fuel prices and a wobbly labor market, airline fares actually decreased nearly 2%, but are still up more than a third since last year. Some more highlights are groceries are up 12%, biggest increase since 1979. Chicken is up 19%, biggest increase ever. Gas was up 60%, biggest jump since 1981. Electricity bills were up 14%, biggest jump since 2006. And rent was up 5.8%, biggest jump since 1986. Meanwhile, as CNBC points out, corporate profits, whatever, are up 1.3% year over year, and certainly do not explain the massive price increase across the board as some of the that would lead you to believe. What else? Let's see. On June the 16th, 2021, White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain tweeted that there are going to be transitory impacts on restarting the economy that was shut down. But the key point was the Fed forecast today, inflation projected down 2.1% in 2022. In other words, the Federal Reserve was either grossly incompetent or can never be believed in again. Government institutions, large or small, are actively working against to see what exactly they could actually come up with. I don't know. Inflation, yes, is up. Yes, corporate profits are up, and we're still not seeing wages increase overall. I mean, there are in some sectors, just not overall. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one as we are talking about this. And I realistically hate talking about all this stuff in politics.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, meanwhile, in the Europe zone, the euro and dollar are about equal in value now. As protesters in Sri Lanka stormed the presidential palace over the weekend, the country's prime minister and president promised to formally step down from their position on Wednesday. That doesn't appear to have happened, and the president reportedly fled from Maldives without resigning, but made the prime minister the acting president. The protests started amid food shortages triggered by Sri Lanka's absurd emission reduction standards that strangled its agricultural output and pushed hundreds of thousands of people into poverty. Now, the prime minister, as acting president, has called for his country's military to do whatever it takes to quell the uprising. Hold on. So we're going to do everything to stop the uprising. This sounds interesting. I thought you were there for the people. So what do you have to do to quail the uprising? I mean, that sounds like fighting terms. Oh, that's exactly what that means. So maybe the prime minister wasn't the person to put. I mean, I don't know. Just something to talk about. Anyways, what else is going on? Netflix is formally partnering up with Microsoft to manage the technology that will deliver ads to its lowest tier ad-supported plan, set to roll out by the end of this year. Still no word on how much discount tier will cost. Current plans range between $9.99 and $19.99. Here's the interesting part. Because you want multiple screens and you know that you want 4K. At least most people do. So if you do 4K, you know that you're going to be on the hook on the higher tier price. And then the question becomes is that when you start doing the ad bundle, how does that work? And think about that real quick. You're watching your favorite show on Netflix and all of a sudden this intense moment is about to happen, and ad. I mean, is that really what you want? I mean, I don't know. Maybe we have been spoiled throughout the years. Can't we just bring DVDs back or something? Wouldn't that just be easier? I mean, I don't know. Anyways, Rowdy the cat is back home safe and sound. The feline that escaped the animal carrier at Boston Logan's International Airport last month and has since evaded the attempts by its family and airport personnel to get him back. Rowdy's owners were returning to the United States after a 15-year deployment to Germany for the U.S. Army when Rowdy first went missing. Yes, I did say 15 years because that should probably be the highlight there. Not a whole lot of specifics on what techniques were used to eventually find the cat, if any, but the owner says that Rowdy probably got hungry and let herself, get caught. So who knows? I mean, I guess that's what hunger does. You get excited, you get moving, you get grooving, and you go, hey, listen, I'm not going to be hungry, and I'm going to do whatever the hell it takes. Anyways, a bottle of Chateau Avenue Foch Champagne from 2017 has set a record price after selling at auction at $2.5 million. Really hope nobody drank it. But wait, the buyer didn't get the bubbly. He also got an NFT of a drawing of an ape that also appears on the bottle. Worth remembering, NFTs give the owner the intellectual property rights to digital art, but no exclusivity. Its value very much remains in the eyes of the beholder. I'm still kind of like all over the place about the NFT thing, but then again, when I start talking about it, people are just go, well, it's because you're old. You just don't know anything. But that's okay. If that's the general consensus, if that's the general feelings on how you feel about it, I can't complain. It's your biz. It's your biz on what you think about what I'm saying. That's fine. Anyways, with that being said, let's bring in a smart person inside of here. Let's bring in some John Smalls. Let him tell us about the market beat.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Thursday, July 14th, 2022. The June CPI data was worse than investors expected. The year-over-year increase of 9.1% means inflation continues to be at a 40-year high. That number cements expectations for 75 basis point hike in interest rates later this month. And some analysts now speculate that the Fed will raise interest rates by 100 basis points when they meet later this month. If investors didn't have enough to worry about, they're also looking at yield curve inversion. This confirms the economy is heading for or already in a recession. As you would expect, the market went deep into the red on all this bad news. However, as the trading day ended, the markets were well off session lows. The tech-heavy NASDAQ index in particular was showing some strength. This is because many analysts believe the markets are already pricing in the hot CPI reading. And others believe that after months of head fakes, the economy may finally be seeing peak inflation. Investors will get more information when the June PPI data comes in tomorrow before the market opens. You can get the inside track in your inbox at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that one, letting us know what is going on. The Dow, lost about 208 points on Wednesday, closing at 30,772. The S&P lost 17 points to close at 3,801. And the NASDAQ lost 17 points to close at 11,247. Both Brent crude and West Texas Intermediate remain below $100 a barrel on Wednesday. The national average price of gas per gallon was $4.63 on Wednesday. Bitcoin, after the sell-off, Bitcoin rallied, picking up $550 worth of value on Wednesday and trading around $19,900 in the evening. And there was 3,914 flights delayed for route or into or out of the United States and 207 cancellations. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of there if you so care about that. So anyways, let's get into some other stuff that is going on inside of the world. Do we want to talk about this? Let's talk about it because I guess it's very well known. Kevin Spacey expected to enter a plea in London sex cases. Kevin Spacey has pleaded not guilty to sex charges. Take a listen.
The actor appeared in a London courtroom today to make the plea. The alleged offenses against the two-time Oscar winner and House of Cards star date back almost 20 years and involve a man who is now in his 40s and two men now in their 30s. If Spacey is convicted of the most serious charge, he could face life in prison. A trial has been set for next June. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Okay, so there you go. There's some combo of what the heck is going on inside of the world here. Swimmers and surfers bit by sharks in the water off a Fire Island. 2 people are recovering from wounds after two more shark attacks in the water off of Long Island. Scott Pringle has more information.
Officials say a tourist was bitten on the wrist and butt yesterday evening while standing in waist-deep water at Seaview Beach on Fire Island. And that was hours after surfer Sean Donnelly got a 4-inch cut on the leg from a shark. This was at Smith Point Beach. It knocked him off his board.
I put my board between me and it and just got back on it, and it went underneath me, and I just slapped it on the other side, and it was gone.
There's now been 4 shark attacks in waters off Long Island this summer. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
No, there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of there. Anyways, Will Towers, active shooter debunked. Chicago police are confirming that an active shooter report at Willis Tower has been debunked. CPD Superintendent David Brown called the report inaccurate.
We debunked it almost immediately, but at the same time, we're taking due care and ensuring that there's no other activity occurring.
Authorities say that someone reported an active shooter at the iconic skyscraper 50th floor yesterday. Police searched the building and no threats were found. So there you go. Well, take a listen to this as technology continues. Online driver's test now available in Colorado. There's an online driver's test for people in Southern Colorado looking to get driver's permit. Colorado DMV Deputy Senior Director Rosie Johnson said there are safeguards in place to make sure that they aren't cheating.
The reason there's a webcam that is required to be enabled while they are taking the test is because they will actually get a picture before they take the test and random pictures throughout the testing.
The DMV will also notify if someone takes their cursor off of the testing screen and can require a retest. It takes 60 minutes to take the online test. The hope is that the online option reduces wait times. More information at dmv.colorado.gov. Colorado DMV Deputy Senior Director Rosie Johnson says that the online test hopefully reduces the wait times. Take a listen to this.
They have up to 60 minutes to take that written test. So that is time in an office that a person would be spending up to 60 additional minutes there to take the test that they would no longer have to be in an office for, and they can do in the convenience of their home.
So let me ask a couple of questions here, because this is the other portion to talk about. So as we speak, in the state that I live in, they automatically give you that thing, that driver's license, that whatever thing you're applying for right there on the spot once things are done. So if you're wanting to get your permit, how many days does it take to get it mailed to you? Maybe that's the other portion that you have to think about if you're giving it any consideration.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
So attorneys say that the Broadway Avenue welding venue is violating law. Take a listen to this. We talked about it earlier this week. The Broadway Avenue wedding venue in Grand Rapids, Michigan is violating the city's humane rights ordinance because they don't allow weddings for same-sex or transgender couples. This is according to attorney Kristen Holtz and Levine in Kalamazoo, who the law includes public services groups like wedding venues.
Wherever you're paying taxes and you have held yourself out as a business open to the public, you are subject to the laws within that area.
The city has 90 days to determine if Broadway Avenue has broken the law after getting a complaint. The facility owners could also appeal if they feel that the ordinance is unconstitutional. Let's see. Kristen Holt says the Broadway Avenue faces issues more likely violating Grand Rapids Humane Rights Ordinance for not allowing gay and transgender couples to be married there.
If they were affiliated with a specific church and operated as a branch of that church, they may have more success, but they're not. They're holding themselves out as being open, in fact, to other faiths.
So there you go. It'll be some interesting times taking a listen about what the hell's going on there. So take a listen to this one, especially going into some of these other states. Pepsi to build large manufacturing facility in Denver. Pepsi is bringing hundreds of new jobs to the Denver metro area. The soda giant announced that they will land acquisition to build a 1.2 million square foot manufacturing plant not far from the Denver International Airport.
The sustainable facility with advanced technology that really is focused on that water conservation. It's both the building and the way that they are manufacturing that are all pointing toward being sustainable for the planet.
Chelsea Rusty with the Denver Economic Development and Opportunity says the facility is expected to open next summer. The city offered $1 million incentive to attract Pepsi to the area. Chelsea Rusty also went as far as saying that the $1 million incentive for Pepsi comes with strings attached. Of course it does.
It's a performance-based incentive, and it gets paid out to the business based on their creation and retention of quality jobs. And so they have to perform in order to receive the cash incentive.
So there you go, $1 million to build to make some sugar water right there in Denver.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk. Currently 31 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Thursday, getting to do the things that we do together because it's fun. Yes, it's fun to do the things that we get to do together. So in talking and hanging out, let's talk about this. Let's talk about some of the things that we have discussed so far this week. And let's have some discussions as we are moving forward today. And what will those discussions consist of? Well, I guess that will be the easy portion to talk about. You know how we sit back and from time to time, we have plans of action and processes, the things that we want to build out, and we want them to perfection. Seriously. We build out these plans for our organization that we have the safety process that we want to build. And we go that we know that it's going to be perfect. And we sit there and we go, if I build this thing out, I just know that people will respond to it and it's going to work perfectly in a succession in regards on how it's going to build and how things are going to fall from one step to another, to another, to another. This happens. It's just kind of the part of the way that things go. With that being said, I want you to think about this for a moment. When you listen to your favorite song, when you listen to some of the stuff that is going on in a music compilation, do you think that they're playing that song over and over again in regards that the artist is performing? No, you know that it's a recording. It's a one-time thing. It is more than likely a one-time thing that has been produced over several hundreds of recordings. And that is how they compose the thing and put it together on a track for you to listen to it. It was a lot of times, maybe some failures, a lot of mathematical equations that have to work out perfectly for people to turn around and go, okay, this works and it sounds right. Here's the gig. That's not what happens in our organizations. In our organizations, when we build these things out, we have this expectancy that it's going to work perfect after the moment that we wrote it pen to paper, typed it up on the screen, typed it up on whatever the hell device that we have it on, or the discussion was had inside of the C-suite. And what happens here is that this is not a perfect world scenario. It is not the perfect world in regards of having it moving and grooving. And I would expect and mostly hope that people would know this, that people would know that these things are not going to be perfect as they move. And as we build them, it's with time as things gets better and better. This is why when we talk about building out safety processes, policies, and procedures, there should be some expectancies of failures inside of there. And I think that sometimes that's where we don't put our safeguards in place, where we tend to forget that there are some important equations here that we need to move forward with. So think about that as we are talking today. When you have built something out in the past inside of your organization, if you've had the availability to do so, if this is something that you've thought about, were there safeguards built into the thing, or was it has to hit 100% of time? Because here's the thing. If between a failure In a catastrophic event, the only thing between it is a person. I got news for you. It's going to fail. Regardless of who the person is. Just because we do tend to cause failures. It's just kind of the way the world works. If you're expecting a human to be perfect 100% of the time, you should know that that's not going to be realistic. And here's the funny part is that some people will say, well, I guess we can put robots in the thing. Well, the robots are not perfect 100% of the time either. They break down. They have to be maintenance. They have to be serviced. So understand that at no point will you have a perfect safety system. And I know a lot of people are not going to love that, but it's just the reality of it. And that's the thing. It's constantly moving and evolving and going forward. It's almost like a learning system, not a learning team, a learning system on how things are moving around and about. That's where the difficulty comes from time to time. That is where the difficulty that we tend to forget. It's not going to be perfect the moment that we put it down on paper. It's not going to be perfect the moment that we say, okay, cool, this is it. Think about that today. I'm not trying to make this extremely difficult. I'm trying to make this as easy as possible as we are talking. Because at what portion do we start saying we want perfection? Or do we want reality? Maybe those are the things to think about. But then again, what the hell do I know? It's the guy behind a microphone.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants. It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with Home Title Lock, you're inviting home title fraud, one of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks put a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com. Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
I really went from wearing rags on me to his racks on me. First class, they ain't got a pat on me. Let the chain dangle, bitch, I'm raiding the mainframe. Turn my pain into paint on a canvas. I been a head case. Ben Frank only right, I get Ben Franklin. Burn two ends of the candle. Wanna be the first one, get rich in my family. They don't understand me. I used to be nice guy. Till the world told me cold, now my guard up, I'm far. Don't trust nobody. Now she never did want me, she talking real naughty. Nah, I ain't sorry, been slept on, they groggy. I'm really bout it. I'm off the cloud in this bitch, I'm real rowdy. I'm going off. Had no chances. I do not answer to anybody. Amped up, put my stamp on the canvas. I'm ramped up. Me, my dog, this my tandem. I do this for life. They just post for the camera. They scrambling, they not me, they rambling. I want me a mansion. I know it's my season. I'm go to the stanza. I'm somewhere tucked off. I'm late in the shade and I'm counting mine. Still ain't made it. I'm jaded. My latest, my greatest. I'm solid. Lately, I'm pushing the needle forward to the people that knew me and traded sides. I'm up now, don't hit me to make it right. I'm at a dole up and taking.
Oh, there you go. 42 minutes past the top of the hour.
What you're reaching towards. Don't even know what you're reaching for.
This one is by Tilden Park. This is Floating. Readily available on Spotify and iTunes.
They loud in their feelings, they barking these riddles. Already told you won't find no one realer. I go from me cool to the
you know, some mainstream hip hop there.
Whip with a tint on it. Phone been on silent, I been on my shit.
So thank you to Tilden Park for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show.
Dumb in the sticks on a bitch real quick. Fresh when I dress, take a look at my stitch. Think I lost my sense. Word to the neck, I've been acting real.
So there you go. A lot of stuff. That's some Floating. Make sure to take a download, a little listen to it if you're so inclined to do so. Anyways, let's get into some stuff, talk about some things and all that kind of fun stuff. But before we move forward, I have to tell you the most important thing that I'm going to tell you. Seriously, I have to tell you this stuff. I have to tell you about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local community whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to afsp.org. That's afsp.org. Or call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. Or text the word TALK to 741-741. A lot of stuff going on right there as we are talking about it. That's the fun part. That's the fun part that we get to do. We get to talk, we get to hang, we get to move, we get to groove, and get to talk about this all-important information. Listen, you might sit back and go, this really doesn't apply to me. That's okay. You can still go to their website and learn the facts. Learn how to make a difference in your local community and hear real stories about what is going on with suicide and depression. Listen, I think it's something that we should talk about, not sometimes, all the time. And this is why we attempt to talk about it all the time on this show. And listen, even if you and I hung out just talking, this is going to be a subject that's going to come up because I talk about this all the time. So there you go. American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. AFSP.org, 1-800-273-8255, or text the word TALK to 741-741. There you go. Let's get into some other stuff that's going on inside of this world of ours as we are talking and hanging out on this lovely Thursday. Well, growing calmer. If you've been feeling down lately or stressed out, try getting your hands a little dirty. Researchers found that from the University of Florida found that a study in gardening helps you lower your stress, anxiety, and depression. And even better, you definitely don't have to be a green thumber to reap the mental benefits. None of the study participants had been gardeners before. 32 women ages between 26 and 49, all with the history of taking prescription medication for depression or anxiety, were assigned either a twice weekly gardening class or an arts class. The women in both of the gardening and art groups enjoyed similar improvement in mental health, but the gardeners reported less anxiety. I think the real conclusion here obvious is that art stresses you out. It sounds great except for one thing. You have to garden and stuff. And even the more effective if you find your garden overrun with weeds. So that's maybe that's the other portion to think about. I don't know. A lot of stuff. You know, maybe some of the people that have these large lettering compounds after their name that sound like they're trying to compensate for something, maybe they should get into some gardening. Maybe they can make up for the compensation that what they're trying to do with, because they have to have letters that are longer than their name.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, beer. Is there anything it can't do? Well, yes, there are scientists the world over exploring strategies to mitigate the damage from climate change. Some ideas like, blocking out the sun may seem unrealistic, but here are some less drastic strategies that have potential. And turns out, based on new research, beer could play a significant role in combating climate change with a little help from cows. The cattle industry is responding to 40% of the world's annual methane output, courtesy of gas emitted by 1.4 billion bovines who spend a good amount of time burping and passing gas. Scientists have thought that selective breeding and diet change, those contributions could be reduced, and therefore one key ingredient to the brewing process that could make a big difference in adding to their feed. That's right. According to a new study recently published in Frontiers in Animal Science, the leftover yeast used on beer shows great potential in suppressing microbes responding to the methane production in cattle to the tune of about 25% less emission. It's not a magical fix at all, but it helps the planet. But certainly sounds promising. So let's see. It definitely sounds better than whatever those cows are doing out there right now. And now that they can be, do anything about less emission of dudes who sit on the couch all weekend drinking beer and watching football, said every woman ever. So there you go. I mean, I don't know. It's just something to think about. So if we're going to reduce emissions for cows, maybe we could figure out some emission reduction for some human beings there. Some human beings. Just some things to think about. Anyways, Popsicle goes the weasel. The ice cream truck is serving up a dish best served cold by selling popsicles modeled after the famous billionaire NSCHF, a Brooklyn, New York art collector, is taking a truck around the city and selling their Eat the Rich Billionaire popsicle. This week, overheated consumers can bite onto the popsicle shaped as Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and that's about it. The truck is plastered with saying of Gobble Gates, Suck Zuck. The art collective says that it's about creating commentary for various things in our culture, and the $10 price tag for a single popsicle is just one of the many ways that they're making a statement about frozen billionaires. You can go actually online and pull it up. How about Putin with fruitin'? And if you heard, the Elon got cold feet buying Twitter, but now he's going to give us cold hands. I mean, I don't know. Just some stuff where people get creative in regards to that. But $10 for a popsicle, man, that gets expensive quick. Hey, the popsicle machine is the popsicle truck is around. Let's do something with it. I mean, I don't know. Sounds a little bit crazy to me. Anyways, with that being said, it's some time to bring in some more John Smalls. Let him tell us what's going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Charlie. John Lennon said, "Life is what happens while you're making other plans." Oh, I can relate to that. The last decade or so of my life has flashed by so quickly. My kids were little. We had 2 tiny puppies. A few blinks later, my kids are grown up and living on their own. My 2 puppies, they are gone and sorely missed every single day. It amazes me how much has happened around me, too. My community has changed. Some of it for the better, some maybe not. But the only thing we know will be consistent is that everything will change. So be ready for it and enjoy life while you can. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlessaMorgan.com. Most of us have experienced burnout at some point. It is defined as a form of exhaustion caused by constantly feeling overwhelmed, and it's a result of excessive and prolonged emotional, physical, and mental stress. Here are a few quick tips on how to handle it if you're going through it. First, schedule free time every day. Even if it's only 5 or 10 minutes to sit, meditate, and breathe. This can be absolutely life-saving, and a little goes a long way. Second, stop trying to do it all. Learn how to be okay with doing less and saying no more often. Third, stop filling every slow or quiet moment in your life with social media. Learn how to be bored and embrace the quiet. Quiet, believe it or not, is very often what rejuvenates us and prevents burnout. For more information on wellness, check out AlessaMorgan.com.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show. Listen to our host
of the Rated R Safety Show
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. Being born again is instantaneous. Being conformed to the image of Christ is a lifelong process. Individuals who are constantly in the presence of someone who is very different than they are will eventually change and become like them. So if we want to change, we should spend extended period of time in the Lord's presence. If we consistently spend time with Him, one of us will change. And I can assure you, it's not going to be the Lord. 2 Corinthians 3 says, we are being transformed into His likeness with ever-increasing glory. Lord, leave me forever marked with this meeting, stamped indelibly with the evidence of your presence. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, there you go. Currently 53 minutes past the top of the hour as we are talking and hanging out. Anyways, dozens of unaccounted for after flooding hits parts of Virginia. Authorities in Southern Virginia say that dozens of people are unaccounted for after the region was hit by heavy rain that triggered major flooding. Take a listen to Kathy Parks.
Scenes of devastation in rural Virginia. Cars stacked up like toys, roofs of homes scattered on the ground, and roads turned to rivers.
Water kept coming up, and then I thought it was receding, and then all of a sudden it made another big surge and came back and just wiped everything out.
Over 100 homes sustained damage. Governor Glenn Youngkin has declared a state of emergency. Buchanan County Sheriff Officer Chief Deputy Eric Breeden says that that they're attempting to make the contact with 44 people who but have stressed that were stressed Wednesday that have not been cleared or declared missing as of yet. And in some cases, spotty phone service and difficult roads could be to blame for the high numbers.
An overnight storm Wednesday dumping up to 6 inches of rain in just a matter of hours. All of that water causing disastrous flash flooding.
We got a car here with 2 people in the water. Their car's going underwater and they can't get out of the car.
So there you go. A lot of stuff. Still keep in mind that spotty phone service all through the area. So there you go. Anyways, a man has been killed in a suspected road rage shooting. A man is dead following a suspected road rage shooting in South Los Angeles. The man's son spoke last night.
He never got argued with nobody. He always go to work, come home. He was in the wrong time, the wrong place.
The man was shot while on the way home from work late on Tuesday. Police say that he followed off the 105th freeway into the Green Meadows neighborhood, where a person in a dark sedan pulled up next to him and shot him 3 to 5 times. The suspect took off after opening fire and still on the loose. Terrible news there to hear. Anyways, negotiations resume with a Dodger Stadium concession workers strike looming. Contract negotiations have resumed between Dodger Stadium concession workers and the company that manages the concession at the ballpark. Daniel Martindale has more info.
About 1,500 servers, bartenders, suite attendants, cooks, and dishwashers are threatening to strike and no-show upcoming All-Star Week festivities. The union representing the employees and the concessions company, Compass Levy, said talks were underway Wednesday but didn't give any further information. On Monday, the union authorized a strike with a 99% yes vote. Reps say the strike could be called at any moment. All-Star festivities, including the Home Run Derby and MLB All-Star Game, run Saturday through Tuesday at Dodger Stadium. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Okay, thank you, Daniel Martindale, for that one, letting us know exactly what's going on. No winner for Monday night's Mega Million drawing. Friday's drawing will be for $480 million jackpot or $276 million cash payout. So if you're wanting to play the game, well, I guess it's time to definitely give it some consideration in doing so. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2015, Harper Lee's second novel, Go Set a Watchman, goes on sale in 70 countries. The book is the early 1957 version of her novel To Kill a Mockingbird. Anyways, if you're looking at some birthdays for today, let's take a look around. We'll jump around a little bit here. Corbin Maxey turns 33, Conor McGregor 34, Dan Reynolds 35, Adam Johnson 35. Let's see, Phoebe Waller Bribe turns 37, Roger Clark 44, Matthew Fox 56, and Jane Lynch turns 62. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, I have some of those for you. It's National Grand Mariner Day, National Tape Measurer Day, National Mac and Cheese Day, Shark Awareness Day, and last but not least, National Nude Day. I don't think that you should probably show up to work in that fashion, but just the sake for doing so. And I guess nudist beaches will probably be overpopulated today. Will probably be the other factor. Anyways, if you need a random joke for the day, I still think I have some unfinished procrastinating to do from yesterday. If you need a phone starter, try this. What do you think is a colossal waste of money? Designer brands, space tourism, sports salaries, NFTs. If you need something for the water cooler, try this. 1 in 5 people have this on them at all times. What is it? Chewing gum. So there you go. Anyways, thank you for taking a listen here to the Rated R Safety Show. I really do appreciate you spending the time with me on this lovely Thursday. So there you go. Thanks for hanging out. We couldn't do what we do around here without you, the most important part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. The best portion of a good man's life is his little, nameless, and unremembered acts of kindness and love. And I would almost say, if you can remove a good man and just put a good person, maybe that's the way to look at it. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love ya, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Yeah. Wait. Just wait. They claim they want beef like I ain't in a teed up. I turn them to vegan. I'm really a creature. She sent me the beacon. I beat it and flee it. They tell like these niggas won't beat me. They can't. I'm somewhere tucked off. I'm laid in the shade and I'm counting mine. Still ain't made it. I'm jaded. My latest, my greatest. I ain't ever caving. They see me. I'm him. I'm a gym in the soil. It's by the time. I've been after mine. I'm one with the culture. They more like a gimmick. I'm pushing the needle. I'm leaving the key in. It's running on me. need it. I want me a foreign, I need them to see me. Yeah, I know it's my season, my family the reason I be who I'm being. Solid. Lately I pushing the needle forward to the people that knew me and traded sides. I'm up now, don't hit me to make it right. I'm at it, dole up and taking mines. Niggas scared of the heights that I'm reaching for. Don't even know what you're reaching towards. Don't even know what you're reaching for. I really went from wearing rags on me